Welcome to Wisconsin's Haunted History. This list of 10 is part of a playlist of gentle listening spooky collections from across the USA. The screen fades to black so you can enjoy the stories without distractions if relaxing, studying or wanting to sleep. Please do consider a like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. First is Dartford Cemetery in Green Lake. Now, many people say that cemeteries should be no more haunted than anywhere else, but that definitely doesn't seem to be the case with Dartford Cemetery. It even looks very much like a garden, rather than a spooky granite-filled graveyard, but appearances can be deceiving. Perhaps the most well-known ghost that hangs out there is of Native American chief High Knocker, who apparently drowned in 1911 when he attempted to swim across a river. He was trying to make his way to Green Lake, which was considered to be a sacred location. Another common sighting is of several soldiers from the Civil War era marching through the cemetery. Other reports include wispy shadow figures, unexplained sounds, orbs of light, and something that happens when visitors sit on top of a mausoleum on the south side of the cemetery. Anyone who does so will be pushed off it by the ghost of a child who's buried there. At number 2 is Bloody Bride Bridge in Stevens Point. There's a particular stretch of County Highway 66 that's known informally as Bloody Bridge, thanks to the ghost who's said to haunt it. Local law enforcement have denied the accident described in the local legend as having actually occurred, but residents in the area will tell you otherwise. The story suggests that several years ago, a bride and groom were driving home from their wedding when their car spun out of control as they crossed the bridge over the Plover River. Several years after the fatal accident, a police officer is said to have struck a woman in a wedding gown while driving across the bridge. When he got out to investigate, there was nobody there. On turning back to his vehicle, he found the woman, splattered with blood, sitting in the back seat of his car. Many people since then have seen the Bloody Bride standing on the bridge on rainy nights, and it's said that if you stop on the bridge at midnight, both the bride and groom will manifest in your car's back seat. Third on the list, and staying in Stevens Point, we have Boy Scout Lane. Don't let the name fool you. Boy Scout Lane sounds pleasant enough, but it's one of the most haunted places in Wisconsin. The dead-end road was named in honor of some Boy Scouts who died there during a camping trip many years ago, but records are missing about how they actually died. As you might imagine, this means there are many versions of the tale floating around. Some say the boys were murdered by their bus driver, while others believe they simply went missing in the woods and were never found. Another story suggests that one of the scouts dropped a kerosene lantern accidentally and started a fire that killed the rest of his troop. Whatever the true story is, visitors agree that if you visit Boy Scout Lane at night, you're likely to see the light of a solitary lantern bobbing through the trees. It's said that this is either someone searching for the lost scouts, or perhaps it's the spirit of the one who started the fire. At number 4 is the Grand Opera House in Oshkosh. Built in 1883, the Grand Opera House is haunted by Percy Keene, who was the stage manager there for several decades. Most paranormal activity seems to be focused on the balcony, which is where Percy is most often spotted. But there are many other reported ghosts in the Opera House. They include a mysterious orange mist spotted floating around the building, the apparition of a stagehand who has often been encountered in the basement. Smells of tobacco smoke have been encountered in the non-smoking theatre. A ghost dog has been seen on the stage. Performers in dressing rooms have reported seeing shadow figures in the mirrors, and the apparition of a child has been seen sitting on the main staircase. Halfway through the list we have the Clark County Insane Asylum in Owen. As is unfortunately usual, the asylum saw a lot of horrific inhumane treatment methods. As a consequence of these brutal practices, many patients turned against the staff, resulting in violence and murder. The suffering and anguish that unfolded at the Clark County Insane Asylum has left a lasting imprint at the location. Today, the abandoned asylum witnesses a range of chilling experiences. Apparitions of former patients and staff are said to wander the building, while strange noises echo through the empty corridors. Disembodied voices, believed to be the cries of those who endured unbearable torment, can be heard in the eerie silence. The haunting legacy of the Clark County Insane Asylum serves as a grim reminder of the inhumanity that used to happen every day within its walls. And number 6 is St. Joseph's Hospital in Marshfield. Hospitals are always a good choice when you're seeking out a haunted building, and St. Joseph's Hospital in Marshfield certainly fits the bill. The paranormal activity there seems to be more or less restricted to the west wing of the hospital. One of the most commonly reported apparitions is of a man in a black robe who's been seen by staff and patients alike wandering around and going in and out of patients' rooms. Nobody's managed to determine who he is or why he's haunting the hospital. At spot number 7 is the Ambassador Hotel in Milwaukee. The Ambassador Hotel was built in 1928 and has attracted famous guests such as the Beatles, Liberace and John F. Kennedy. With its impressive Art Deco features and a resurgence in recent years, the hotel offers an air of opulence and comfort. However, beneath such grandeur lies a chilling connection to the infamous Jeffrey Dahmer, who committed his first Milwaukee murder in room 507. Guests in room 507 have reported a heavy atmosphere and strange events, such as waking up to find their partner in an awkward position reminiscent of Dahmer's first victim's body. Others have encountered mysteriously made or unmade beds and items disappearing, only to reappear elsewhere. The Ambassador Hotel's haunted reputation does extend beyond room 507, with tales of messages written on mirrors and other odd happenings throughout the property. At number 8 is Summerwind Mansion in Land O'Lakes. Summerwind was once a summer home for Robert Pete Lamont, who was the Secretary of Commerce under the Hoover administration. The property was built in 1916, and if the stories are to be believed, it was plagued by ghosts from the start. When Lamont died, the property passed through a number of owners before the Hinshaw family bought it sometime in the 1970s. They soon began to experience the paranormal activity that Lamont did, shadow figures and strange unexplained noises. Arnold Hinshaw claimed that he found human remains behind a secret door in the closet, but there's no record of him ever actually officially reporting it. The next owner was Raymond Bober, who reported seeing a ghost that he believed was an 18th century explorer named Jonathan Carver. The manor was eventually abandoned in the 1980s, then a lightning strike burned it to the ground. The remains of Summerwind can still be found, hidden away in the woods, and many people also claim they've seen ghosts and heard disembodied voices in the area. For number 9, we visit Callan Road in Ripon, a road better known as Witch Road. It's haunted by the spirit of a witch that inhabits the woods surrounding the road. Those driving along the road at night describe how the gnarled branches of trees cast gruesome shadows in their headlights before taking on the form of a twisted old crone, the witch herself. Some have seen strange flashing lights in the woods close to where the remains of an old house is. That house is believed to have belonged to the witch. It's also believed a little girl's ghost hides in the woods, and a bit bizarrely, after dark, the sound of trickling water can be heard near the road, though there's no stream nearby. Finally, a very odd tale, as has become regular for the last one in this series. It's about a grave in Oakwood Cemetery, home to the Butcher of Berlin. John Orr Sr. was a butcher who is said to have had 3 wives in short succession, each one dying very young. Local legend says John murdered each one of them. He's entombed with his last wife, Martha, and you kind of have to wonder if Martha would want to be moved. Their vault in Oakwood Cemetery is engraved with an unusual gravestone symbol of a hand holding what appears to be a knife. At midnight on the anniversaries of each wife's murder, the engraving on the tomb is said to turn blood red. Thank you for joining us on this little journey. From famous hotels to infamous graves, Wisconsin has some great tales from within the state, and hardly any of them are cheesy. I hope you'll be here for the final one in the series, Wyoming.